narcissists can be extremely harmful to an empath's emotional mental health and overall well-being. Empaths who were subjected to prolonged narcissistic abuse tend to develop CPTSD, or complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Here are some of the signs that you might have acquired. 10. Having terrifying dreams or flashbacks about the abuse. Do you suffer from recurring nightmares? One of the most common symptoms of CPTSD in empaths is recurring nightmares about their abuse or their abuser. These memories they try to bury deep within their minds seem to resurface at night and come back to haunt them. While this is already a huge problem in itself, these nightmares lead to sleep problems such as insomnia. In some cases, not only do these memories resurface during the night, but they also try to creep their way in during the day. Though the empath may be conscious during those times, they may still suffer from flashbacks caused by triggers. 9. Never being able to relax. Are you always wound up so tight? Having been in an abusive relationship with a narcissist is not an easy feat to get over. Empaths, with their intense emotional sensitivity, however, because of their inherent characteristics and unique gifts, they seem to be the most vulnerable to narcissistic abuse. It is cause for a big celebration when empaths finally get out of an abusive relationship with a narcissist. However, the suffering does not end there. Another classic CPTSD sign is when an empath can never seem to relax even during the good times. Because of their abuse, they have trained themselves to never become too complacent and always anticipate the other shoe to drop. 8. Being constantly jumpy and nervous. Are you very easily startled? Empaths are masters of intuition. They have almost supernatural abilities to discern all kinds of things. This talent of theirs can be truly useful in many areas of life. In fact, most empaths just automatically trust their gut for most of their life choices. However, this intuition is far from infallible. Being stuck in an abusive relationship with a narcissist is certainly a testament to its fallibility. When empaths experience narcissistic abuse, intuition comes in very handy. Whether consciously or not, they use this to anticipate the narcissist's moods and behavior. Nothing is ever clear with a narcissist, so the empath is forced to improvise and take note of every little detail. Being nervous and jumpy is just a side effect of magnifying every little detail to avoid conflict with the narcissist. 7. Experiencing physical symptoms or reactions. How does your body react to triggers? Empaths have normally low thresholds for stimuli. This means that their bodies react in a more exaggerated way to certain scents, sounds, and even textures. When empaths undergoes narcissistic abuse, their mind unconsciously associates different things to the experience. This forms triggers that in turn make everyday life a lot more difficult for them. Triggers can be anything. It can be a perfume scent, the taste of lemon, the feel of silk, etc. When empaths encounter these triggers, not only do they remember and relive traumatic experience, but their bodies also seem to react to it. A reaction such as nausea, vomiting, palpitations, and others can be some of the telltale signs of someone suffering from CPTSD. 6. Avoiding trigger places, people, or activities. Do you stay away from certain things? Narcissistic abuse is no walk in the park. But did you know that some empaths stay away from parks because they are reminded of their abuse? Parks, malls, grocery stores, and so on can become triggers of traumatic memories. Empaths who have associated their bad experiences with these places tend to avoid them altogether. But triggers are not limited to just places. They can be people or even activities. Empaths who suffer from CPTSD may choose to stay away from certain people who may remind them of their trauma, though they have not been involved in it. Some may avoid going to places or attending events because they consider them as triggers. This can become very inconvenient to them and would certainly impact their quality of life. 5. Not allowing oneself to become vulnerable. Why have you been keeping to yourself lately? When narcissists choose their victims, they always try to isolate their pick from their friends and loved ones. Doing this makes their manipulations easier and the empath more vulnerable to their schemes. Narcissists isolate their victims by starting smear campaigns against the empath, which created rifts between them and their support, leaving the empath completely alone. So even when the empath has left the narcissist, they do not get to keep their dear friends. Empaths with CPTSD may simply decide to keep themselves isolated from others as a measure to protect themselves from any more pain. They just do not have the heart to trust people after what they have been through. 4. Being unable to regulate emotions. Having poor emotional control is one of the many noticeable signs of CPTSD in empaths. Then the epitome of emotional stability now seems so unbalanced that it takes a tiny push to get them over the edge. It is undeniable how damaging narcissistic abuse is to the empath who receives it. Empaths are conflict-avoiding people. They are peace lovers and peacemakers, always trying to stay away from negativity. Empaths love to keep harmony in every situation by making sure that arguments are resolved properly. However, after prolonged exposure to abuse, they seem to lose touch. Their patience starts to waver, and their temperament visibly changes, making them easily lose control over their emotions. What occupies your thoughts most of the time? For empaths who have obtained CPTSD from narcissistic abuse, the answer will certainly be the narcissist and the trauma they have caused. When they have gone through abuse, however, these random thoughts all get pushed aside by the one central point that stands out: the narcissist and the trauma they caused them. Just like our physical bodies that flourish when fed good food, the mind also thrives on good thoughts. Being soaked in misery as they remember these painful experiences just worsens things. 2. Feeling an unshakable sense of guilt and shame over what happened. Do you blame yourself for what happened? Narcissists are masters at making their victims believe that they were their own tormentors. They can twist facts and change stories, making them look like the good guys or the victims even. Narcissistic abuse is characterized by heavy gaslighting and lying. All these are done to manipulate the empath into quiet submission. When an empath is exposed to this enough times, they start to believe the lies they are told. Though deep down they know they are the victims, this twisted conditioning makes them think that they actually are the perpetrators of their own misery. Empaths in recovery should work their hardest to reverse this thinking and bring back their autonomy. 1. Believing themselves to be unworthy of happiness. What do you want out of life? After the storm that is the abusive relationship that empaths have gone through, they might feel like they have lost everything. Empaths may have lost opportunities, relationships, family, and material possessions to the narcissist. Because of this, it becomes easier to fall into the temptation to believe that they have nothing left, and therefore nothing to live for. Empaths may think that their terrible experience makes them too damaged to even expect happiness in life. They have absorbed the lies that the narcissist has been feeding them about themselves and their worth. Empaths on their way to recovery must remember that what they have gone through does not define them. Instead, these experiences are merely a blip in their story. They should let go of the erroneous thinking that the narcissist is their standard. Instead, empaths must set a standard for themselves and their happiness. Empaths who have acquired CPTSD may feel like it is the end of the line for them, but it never is. You have gone through hell and survived. Make sure that you fight hard and not leave your mind and heart there. Let that narcissist know that you may be bruised, but you are far from broken.
People will have bad shit to say about you once you grow into a version of yourself that no longer suits them. That's fine. Keep growing anyway, you emotionally intelligent bitch.